The 2007 Hawaii Warriors football team did the unthinkable by going undefeated in the regular season and capturing the hearts of football fans everywhere. Led by a Heisman caliber quarterback, an underrated wide receivers room, and an innovative head coach, the Warriors survived and put together a storybook season. This is the story of the 2007 Hawaii Warriors football team, aka the Miracle Squad. But before we get into this, if you enjoy college football content like this, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. I'm planning to release a video every day for the month of August. Also, let me know who your favorite underdog college football team is in the comment section below, and maybe I will do a video on them next. As the 90s came to a close, the Rainbow Warriors would have a new head football coach in June Jones. They were coming off a tumultuous time period after head coach Fred Von Appen led them to a 5-31 record from 1996 to 1998. Jones had played quarterback at Oregon, Hawaii, and Portland State in college and spent time in both the NFL and CFL professionally. Jones would serve as the quarterback coach for Hawaii under Dick Tomey in 1983 before jumping around the USFL, CFL, and eventually the NFL. When Jones was named the head coach of Hawaii, the team was on an 18-game losing streak, which Jones quickly turned around. June promised a turnaround with a high-flying run-and-shoot pro-style offense. In his first season, the Rainbow Warriors went 9-4 and won a share of the Western Athletic Conference Championship, making it the most dramatic turnaround in NCAA football history at the time. The team would take a step back in 2000, going 3-9, but from 2001 to 2004, he led the Warriors to a 36-17 record before a 5-7 season in 2005. The year 2005 was also a special year because it marked the arrival of Colt Brennan. Let's rewind again. Brennan grew up in Laguna Beach, California, and attended Mater Dei High School, where he spent most of his high school career backing up future USC star Matt Leinart. In 2002, Colt accepted a scholarship to the University of Colorado, where he would redshirt. After a night of drinking, he allegedly entered a dorm room of a female student uninvited and was later arrested and charged. After entering a plea deal, he was sentenced to a week in jail and probation until his graduation from college. Because of certain crimes that were going on and wild recruiting parties involving several athletes, Colt was made an example of and cut from the team. He thought his career was over. In 2004, Brennan enrolled at Saddleback Junior College in Mission Viejo, California, and would lead the team to a 9-4 record and the conference championship while throwing for 2,400 yards and 24 touchdowns. He received Division I offers from Syracuse and San Jose State, but the Orange would later rescind their offer due to the felony on his record. June Jones offered Colt a chance to walk on at Hawaii as a replacement for Warriors legend and all-time yardage leader Timmy Chang. Colt jumped at the opportunity and took on the challenge. Colt saw his first collegiate action against number 1 USC in the second half blowout. He finished the game with 250 yards and a touchdown. He took over the starting role in the third game of the season, throwing for 347 yards and 3 touchdowns in a win against Idaho. He would finish 2005 with 4,301 yards and 35 touchdowns. Entering the 2006 season, there was a lot of hype around Brennan and the Warriors program, and they went on to go 11-3, finishing second in the WAC behind the magical Boise State team as Colt threw for 5,549 yards, 58 touchdowns and 12 interceptions, while also rushing for 366 yards and 5 touchdowns on the ground. Colt finished 6th in the Heisman voting, and many wondered whether he would jump to the pros. Their 3 losses came on the road to Alabama 25-17 and Boise State 41-34, and in their last regular season home game to number 10 Oregon State 35-32. They beat Arizona State in the Hawaii Bowl. 2006 would be one of the school's most successful seasons ever in football, but little did we know they were only getting started. Heading into the 2007 season, Hawaii was replacing 8 players who left for the NFL. They also saw defensive coordinator Jerry Glanville leave to take the head coaching job at Portland State, and he took special teams coordinator Darryl Mouse Davis, the father of the run-and-shoot offense, with him. While some thought defensive line coach Jeff Reinbold would take over the defensive coordinator position, the job would instead go to former Hawaii defensive coordinator Greg McMackin, who was with Hawaii in 1999. McMackin was named the defensive coordinator a little over a month after Glanville's departure. They entered the season ranked for the first time to start a season in school history, coming in at number 23, and Brennan was viewed as a Heisman favorite. Hawaii came out in the first game firing on all cylinders. They took on Northern Colorado, a program that was in their second year at the Division I AA level and had 63 underclassmen on their roster. One player that was not on the opening day roster was their backup punter from the year before, Mitch Kozad, as Kozad had ambushed starting punter Rafael Mendoza on the night of September 11, 2006, where according to the prosecutor, he stabbed his teammate, leaving him with a deep gash in his kicking leg. He did this to take the starting spot away from Mendoza. Kozad was convicted in August of second-degree assault, but acquitted of the more serious charge of attempted first-degree murder. The 22-year-old was sentenced to 7 years in prison. Mendoza would see the field a lot, punting the ball away for the Bears. The Warriors started the 2007 season right where they left off in 2006, scoring on the opening drive, an 80-play, 80-yard drive that saw Brennan go 6 for 7. Hawaii finished the first quarter with a 28-0 lead and went into half up 42-0. Brennan completed 34 of his 40 passes for 416 yards and 6 touchdowns, while Hawaii ran the ball 3 times. All Brennan scrambles in the first half. Brennan moved up to 6th on the NCAA career passing touchdown list with 99, tying Matt Leinart by the end of the game. Him and a few other star players came out in the second half in street clothes as the Warriors went on to win the game 63-6. Brennan told the media after the game, "Feels great to be back, and the fans were awesome. We had a great practice yesterday and knew in the hotel today that something felt right. I'm surrounded with a lot of veteran talent, and that makes you better on offense as well as a football player. They came out just like we had planned for. We were very prepared. I know that is our offensive line. They have a lot of motivation. I have a lot of trust in them." The following week, Hawaii traveled 4,031 miles to open up conference play against Louisiana Tech. Yes, you heard that right. In 2007, Louisiana Tech was a member of the WAC. Hawaii beat the Bulldogs 61-10 in 2006, so this was a revenge game for Louisiana Tech. The Warriors struggled early. That included a personal foul penalty that had them kick off from the 15-yard line for the opening kickoff. They also had an early deficit, being down 14-0 with 4:06 left in the first, as the Warriors' defense was dominated by the Bulldogs' offensive line and their run game. Leon Wright Jackson would score on a 48-yard rush on the 4th rushing attempt of the season and his second carry of the year, pulling the 20th team in the nation back in the game with 1:43 left, with the score sitting at 14-7 at the end of the first quarter. Brennan and Hawaii would drive down the field 99 yards to tie things up with a touchdown run by Colt to start the second quarter. Tech took the lead into halftime 21-14. After 4 drives where the Warriors failed to score, those drives resulted in a fumble, turnover on downs, blocked field goal, and missed field goal to start the second half. Brennan connected with Ryan Grice Mullen for a 64-yard passing touchdown. Hawaii would take their first lead of the game when Brennan connected with Grice Mullen for a passing touchdown, 28-24. After a Colt Brennan fumble, Louisiana Tech would go on to take a 31-28 lead with 47 seconds left in the third. Early in the fourth quarter, Brennan connected with Devontae Bess to help Hawaii take a 35-31 lead. Bess's journey to Hawaii was a complicated one, like Brennan's. He grew up in Oakland, California and attended Skyline High School. As a senior, he led his team to the league championship and was a second-team All-City quarterback. Sports kept him out of trouble and kept him busy as he was raised by a single mother and was going to be the first person in his family to attend college. His father had never even attended high school. Bess's life was tough as he witnessed his uncle get murdered at a birthday party when he was 10 and his father was never really around, with him telling the media, "My dad pretty much wasn't there. If anyone was there, it was my brother's dad, but not really because he was a big-time drug dealer. He was in and out of jail himself and going back and forth, so he wasn't a reliable source." Bess was set to attend Oregon State before he got himself in legal trouble, leading to him spending 15 months in a detention facility near Oakland after being caught unwittingly driving around some pals carrying stolen electronics. Bess impressed on the 7-on-7 team while at the detention facility, and his high school coach, a former player for Hawaii, passed on video of the wide receiver to June Jones, who offered Bess a chance. June Jones struggled with recruiting expenses, only having $60,000 a year, so Warriors recruiters can't afford to chase players they don't already know they're going to get. He focused on Polynesian kids, kids who have lived in Hawaii or have family there, military kids with no permanent home, kids recovering from injuries, and kids from broken homes. Then there are the rare kids from the penal system. According to Jones, some of his best players were recruited out of jail. Louisiana Tech scored a touchdown to take the lead 38-35 after converting on a 4th and 1 with the game on the line 2 plays earlier. Brennan was left with 3:02 in the game and a dream season on the line. Brennan entered that game with 9 comeback wins at the time. Kelly drilled the 49-yard field goal with 1:35 left to tie the game, 38-38. Brennan would quietly throw for over 500 yards and 4 touchdowns, leading the Warriors to an opening score in overtime. Tech would then score, and it came down to this play.
Indiana Tech for 2 and the victory. Champion to the end zone. It's knocked away.
Hawaii survived, 45-44. Number 24, Hawaii then traveled to Las Vegas to take on UNLV. The Warriors would run away with the game behind Colts' 5 touchdowns, 298 yards in 3 quarters in front of a sold-out Sam Boyd Stadium, while UNLV would score first, taking a 7-0 lead in front of over 38,000 people. The Warriors would go on to win 49-14. Brennan broke an NCAA record for most consecutive games with 200-plus yards passing in a game with 29 straight games. This completed an over 8,000-mile journey for the Warriors team that took them away from the island for 12 days. The following week, Hawaii beat Charleston Southern back on Oahu 66-10 to improve to 4-0 for the first time since the 1988 season. The Buccaneers would be tied with the Warriors 7-7 to end the first and went into half down 21-10 before Hawaii scored 45 unanswered points in the second half. Brennan was held out of the game due to precautionary reasons, with him dealing with a sprained ankle. Though the 3 games he had played, he had thrown for 1,262 yards and 12 touchdowns. Then came Idaho as the Warriors traveled to the Kibbe Dome. Brennan led the Warriors to an opening drive score, connecting with Bess before the Vandals would tie it at 7. That's the last time this game would be close, as the Warriors went on to score 41 points to Idaho's 3 heading into the fourth quarter, up 48-10. The Vandals would score 10 points in the fourth as the Warriors rolled behind Brennan's 369 passing yards and 3 touchdowns and Bess's 12 receptions for 162 yards. Brennan also had 5 interceptions. The 15th ranked Warriors then took on Utah State, where they survived a little bit of a scare. Brennan led the Warriors to a 31-13 lead at half, but left the game early in the second quarter after getting dinged up. Tyler Gronke came in to relieve Brennan and threw for 246 yards and 3 touchdowns and led the Warriors to a 52-37 win over the winless Aggies. Hawaii was now 6-0, heading into a big matchup against San Jose State. Brennan struggled early in the rain, throwing a pick and getting away with a dangerous pass to Bryce Mullins after the ball went through the defender's hands. Ryan Grice Mullins came to Hawaii after growing up in Rialto, California. In high school, he lettered in football 3 times and once in track. Played all over the field, spending time at quarterback, running back, and defensive back, even being named All-League selection and an All-County selection his senior year. No one recruited him out of high school after his team went 1-19 between his junior and senior year, except Hawaii. The coaching staff became aware of him after the coaching staff noticed him in a film of 3 different opponents it was scouting. Brennan spoke on the under-the-radar slot receiver, saying Ryan Grice Mullen is just that wild, squirrely receiver. He'll take a quick, flat route and turn it upfield and take it to the house. He has unbelievable speed. His jukes are awesome. He catches the ball in ways nobody ever really thought of catching them. San Jose State brought themselves back into the game, scoring on a punt return right before half. Brennan then threw a pick 6 tying the game. He would get picked off a 3rd time early in the 3rd quarter, and San Jose State would take the lead with 5 minutes left. They took a 28-14 lead with 2:32 left in the 3rd. Brennan connected with CJ Hawthorne to bring the game within a 1 score. In the 4th quarter, San Jose State took a 35-21 lead. Brennan would throw a 4th interception with 9 minutes to go in the game. With 4 minutes to go, Brennan connected with Best to bring the Warriors within a score. After a fumble, Colt would take it himself to tie the game with 31 seconds left. In overtime, Brennan connected with Jason Rivers to take the first lead since early in the 3rd, 42-35. Hawaii would then pick San Jose State off to end the game, scoring 21 unanswered points and surviving another upset scare. After the scare to San Jose State, the 14th ranked Warriors returned to their dominant ways, beating New Mexico State on Oahu 50-13 behind the arm of Brennan. Colt Brennan became the school's all-time career touchdown leader after throwing 6 against the Aggies. He had 119 in his career at the time and surpassed Timmy Chang's previous mark of 117. In addition, at the time, Brennan ranked 2nd all-time in the NCAA and WAC history, trailing former BYU quarterback Ty Detmer's record of 121. The 8-0 start marked the best start for Hawaii since 1973, and they were only one of 5 unbeaten teams in the country at the time. Jones felt that Colt and the team needed to play better in the coming weeks if they wanted to continue their magical season. Number 12, Hawaii would then take on rival Fresno State, and 16 seconds into the game, Colt would connect with Jason Rivers. Rivers is originally from Oahu, attending St. Louis School, a powerhouse on the island, where he lettered 3 times in football. He helped St. Louis win 3 league titles and 1 state title, finishing as a 2-time All-State and All-League pick. He also started on the basketball court, being named a 2-time All-State and All-League selection, and was a member of the basketball team that won the league title his freshman year. He was also a 100 and 200 meter state champion during his senior year in track. With looks from several Pac-10 schools, Rivers took a visit to Washington State before settling on Hawaii. Attracted by June Jones's offense, he said, "This system gives you freedom to play. We don't have set routes. We read the defense and the plays have so many options for us. It's no fun when you have to run a post straight to the safety and get blown up. We run away from that kind of stuff." Brennan tied Detmer's career touchdown record when he connected with Best to give the Warriors a 31-7 lead over the Bulldogs. In the fourth quarter, up 37-23, Brennan would get leveled on a scramble, leaving him on the ground for a few minutes after the play. Brennan would not return to the game, and Hawaii held off a late comeback by Fresno State to win 37-30. At the time, Hawaii was one of 2 remaining undefeated teams, with the other being Kansas, who was 10-0 and ranked 4th in the BCS standings, while the Warriors were 9-0 and 16th in the BCS. Going into the Nevada game, Colt missed some practice due to a mild concussion, but was cleared to play against the Wolfpack. He would not start the game, instead Tyler Gronke would. Gronke was originally from Tucson, Arizona, where he attended South Point Catholic High School. He lettered twice in both football and baseball, leading his high school to back-to-back regional titles in his junior and senior seasons. He set Arizona State season passing records with 3,372 yards and 38 touchdowns, being named the Tucson Citizen High School Football Player of the Year in 2003. Coming out of high school, according to 24/7 Sports Composite, he was a 2-star recruit, was the 45th best pro-style quarterback, and 979th best player in the 2004 recruiting class. He chose Hawaii, who was seemingly his only offer, dreaming of taking over the starting spot, but then Brennan arrived. Hawaii took an early 3-0 lead before the defense forced Colin Kaepernick out of the end zone to take a 5-0 lead. Early in the second quarter, Gronke connected with Rivers to take a 12-0 lead. Cap would complete a screen pass to bring the Wolfpack within 5. Gronke would scramble for a score to take a 19-7 lead in the second. Right before the half, Nevada would make it 19-10. Early in the third, they would make it 19-13. Late in the third, Cap would scramble in to take a 20-19 lead. Gronke then connected with Bryce Mullen to take the lead 25-20 after failing to convert on a 2-point conversion. Nevada took the lead back halfway through the fourth, 26-25. Gronke would fumble, and the Warriors looked like they may be in trouble. Nevada had the ball with 3.5 minutes left and just needed to run out the clock. Instead, they gave the Warriors the ball back with just under 2 minutes left. The Warriors were in trouble. Their star quarterback was out, and they relied on magic from their backup. But remember, this is a season of miracles and anxiety-filled football games for Hawaii. They were not going to go down without a fight. Gronke led the Warriors down the field, and with 15 seconds left, Brad Kelly drilled a game-winning field goal. The Warriors extended their win streak to 11 games, tying the longest in school history. Hawaii also finished 5-0 on the road this season, extending their road win streak to 8 straight, dating back to the last season. Lastly, the Warriors extended their WAC win streak to 14 games. Then came the biggest game of the season, Hawaii versus Boise State. This was staged as the biggest sporting event ever to take place in the state of Hawaii. Hawaii was 10-0, Boise State was 10-1, with their only loss coming on the road to Washington in week 2 of the season. The WAC title was also up for grabs and a possible bid for a BCS game. Ian Johnson opened up the scoring with a long run with 5 minutes left in the first quarter. Brennan connected on a long jump pass to CJ Hawthorne to set up the Warriors inside the 10-yard line. Hawthorne grew up in Mississippi and attended St. Martin's High School in Owen Springs. He was a 3-year letter winner in basketball, football, and track, a 2-time team captain for basketball, and all-district and all-state player in football. He attended Southwest Gulf Coast Community College before transferring to Mississippi Gulf Coast Community College, where he led them to a league championship in 2005 while earning second-team special teams honors. Hawthorne was Jones's worst nightmare, a kid who took a recruiting visit to Hawaii with no intentions of committing, eating a chunk from the program's $60,000 recruiting budget. He told ESPN, "This was like the trip of a lifetime for me." But the team's family atmosphere, where wives and children are welcomed at practice, changed his mind. Hawthorne had 7 brothers and sisters and already had a son. The team adopted him and treated him like a family member and welcomed his wife and son as well. It's why he chose to attend Hawaii. Brennan connected with Bryce Mullen to tie the game. After a key play by Hawthorne, Brennan scored on a rushing touchdown, but the extra point would be blocked. Johnson scored a second touchdown and the Broncos took a 14-13 lead. Brennan connected with Devon Best with 5:33 left in the second quarter, but the extra point would be blocked again, making the score 19-14. Before half, the Broncos would make it 19-17. Best scored his second touchdown of the game to make it 26-17. Boise State would bring themselves within 2 with 9 minutes in the third quarter remaining to make it 26-24. After a Colt Brennan interception, Boise State would take a 27-26 lead. Colt would connect with Rivers to make it 32-27 after a failed 2-point conversion. Then, with 26 seconds left in the third, Brennan would connect with Hawthorne for 38 yards to make it 39-27. Hawaii's defense would step up in the fourth, and the Warriors would run out the clock and win their first outright WAC title in school history and move to 11-0. Hawaii would host Washington, where they would fall behind 21-0 heading into the second quarter. Brennan would lead Hawaii back, scoring 21 points in the second quarter to go into halftime down 28-21. A scoreless third quarter led to an anxiety-filled fourth quarter for the Warriors fans. Halfway through the fourth, Brennan connected with Rivers to tie the game. With 46 seconds left in the game, the 12th ranked Warriors would score to take their first lead of the game with 36 seconds left. Jake Locker led the Huskies down inside the 5 with 20 seconds left, but his receivers would bobble the ball in the end zone, resulting in a pick to secure the Warriors' first perfect regular season. Brennan finished the game throwing for 5 touchdowns and for 442 yards, completing 42 of his 50 passes. They would earn a BCS bid where they would play the number 5 ranked Georgia Bulldogs from the SEC. Going into the game, Hawaii was the last unbeaten team at the FBS level and joined Boise State and Utah as the only teams to make a BCS game but not be in any of the affiliated BCS conferences. Matthew Stafford, Noshawn Marino led Bulldogs team crushed Hawaii in the Sugar Bowl 41-10. Brennan would get hurt late in the game and Gronke would connect with Bryce Mullins for the Warriors' only touchdown of the game. Colt would end his Hawaii career with 14,193 yards, 131 touchdowns, and 31 NCAA records. Statistically the most prolific passer in college history. He finished third in the Heisman voting behind Tim Tebow and Darren McFadden. At the end of the season, he was invited to participate in the 2008 Senior Bowl, where he suffered a torn labrum in his right hip during the first day of practice. He still managed to play in the game. The Sugar Bowl and hip injury caused him to fall down draft boards, and he would be taken by Washington in the 6th round of the 2008 draft. He bounced around the NFL, UFL, CFL, and Arena Football leagues before ending his career. Unfortunately, he passed away in 2021. June Jones would leave Hawaii after the 2000 season due to frustration with the lack of support from the university. Hawaii tried to raise his salary to $1.7 million and offered a commitment to improve its facilities. In addition, there was an outpouring of support for Hawaii fans, including Governor Linda Lingle. However, Jones contacted Hawaii on January 7, 2008, and let them know he had decided to accept an offer from SMU. Jones said that there was work that needed to be done to improve the football facilities and campus in general that would never get done with him there. He said after all the broken promises, leaving was the best way to send a message. Jones went 76-41 at Hawaii, including a 4-2 record in bowls. Devon Best spent 5 years in the NFL between the Miami Dolphins and Cleveland Browns after going undrafted, while Ryan Grice Mullins jumped around the NFL and CFL. Jason Rivers signed with the Tennessee Titans in 2008 after going undrafted but was later released, while CJ Hawthorne spent time with the Buffalo Bills. Tyler Gronke made one start as a senior after sitting behind Brennan for so many years, but unfortunately struggled with academic issues throughout the year that caused him to have issues with head coach Greg McMackin, which led to him being benched a few times. As head coach, McMackin led Hawaii to 2 bowl games, going 7-7 in 2008 and 10-4 in 2010, but losing both games. He resigned in 2011 after a 6-7 season. With Hawaii's defeat, the 2007-2008 college football season ended with no undefeated teams, something that had not happened since the 2003-2004 season. They also began a streak of 3 straight bowl losses for Hawaii, a streak that continued until 2016 when Nick Rolovich led them to a win over Middle Tennessee State in the Hawaii Bowl. After this season, Hawaii went 40-64, and their lone winning season was also 2010. Since McMacken, Norm Chow went 10-36, Rolovich went 28-27, Todd Graham went 11-11, and Timmy Chang went 3-10 last season. The 2007 Hawaii team was special and a lot of fun to watch back in the day, and was so much fun to relive everything now. It's heartbreaking to see a squad not have a storybook ending like the 2006 Boise State Broncos or 2004 Utah Utes teams. But this is college football and this is the real world, and you don't always have storybook endings. The 2007 Warriors team was a special team and something we may never ever see again due to how tough it is to recruit for Hawaii. What do you think? Can Hawaii ever make it back to the national stage again like they did in 2007? Let me know in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to check out one of my other videos YouTube thinks you will love right here. Don't forget to leave a like and to subscribe for more college football content. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, remember to embrace the grind.